think we're live. Hi,
Nice.
everybody. Welcome to another AWOL interview. I feel very fortunate to have, it's Jason Odell, right?
Yes.
Said that right?
Yeah,
Awesome.
you did.
And
Irish.
I'm really excited to have Jason on because for those of you who have followed me, you know that I've gotten started recently and I've started making sales. I'm really excited to have Jason on because one thing I definitely want to highlight about his story up front is that I've been seeing him show up in our affiliate group posting his high ticket sales. So these are commissions. I mean, what are they now, Jason, that you're earning on a single commission?
Oh, 3,000.
3,000.
On a single commission, 3,000.
On a single sale, he's earning 3,000. We're going to talk about the importance of high ticket and why that's so important. But I really I want Jason to share some of his story, his roots, where he came from, what led him on the journey to discovering AWOL. So let's start with, you mentioned how you were, you've been entrepreneurial since a kid. So why don't we start there in your journey?
Yeah. So when I was a kid, I've always had that mindset, and I think that's very important. I think honestly, all of us, at some point when we're kids, we have that entrepreneurial mindset. I even see it in my kids now. I have 3 little boys. But when I was a kid, I remember one of my first entrepreneurial ventures was my cousin. She used to work for Planners, and she would go to the stores and she would pull all the expired candy off the shelves. I mean, this candy was still good, but they had the little date on the wrapper. It's past expiration, so they want to get rid of all that stuff off the on the shelves. And she would bring me all this candy in a box, and instead of eating it all myself, I mean, I ate some of it, ate some of the profits, but instead of eating it all myself, I would. And this is the early 90s. So, I was a kid with a fanny pack, and I would stuff as much as I could in my fanny pack and take it to school. And then during recess, I'd sell it to my friends. I'd be like, hey, you get I had the big lifesavers, the big gummy lifesavers, or a lot of packs of gum or something. I'd just all right, this is $1, this is 50 cents. I'd be making a lot of money. I mean, it was great. And then I'd go take that money and go buy comic books. But yeah, it was that was exciting for me. I loved doing that. It was fun. And so that was my first experience, being a businessman. And then, just through my whole life, I've always wanted to do something for myself. I always wanted to have my own business, create my own wealth, and so I remember in the early 2000s, my parents got me into Amway Global or stuff like that.
That's why I started too. I started with, that was my first foray into entrepreneurship was network marketing. And that's interesting because I think for a lot of people that ends up being their entrance. Like you said, how you have this entrepreneurial spirit as a kid. I definitely think it's always been inside of me, but as a kid, I was definitely sort of encouraged down that more sort of status quo path of go to school, get good grades, kind of obey orders, And I think that to some degree, there's a lot of kids that probably they want to express themselves that way, but they're sort of, they're just not aware that the opportunity is there, and that part of them is never really nourished,
Right. And some, adults don't see it, and they can't really they can't really show it to their kids or, to other people's kids, especially in school. It's just not really taught at all.
Yeah.
No, I mean, even with my mindset now, my boy, one of my oldest, he's 6 years old, and he's making drawings, and he's writing prices on his drawings. He's okay, this one's $30. He was I was he's pricing these things. I was man, he's got that business mind. And no one taught him this. No one taught him this at all. I didn't say, hey son, this is how you run. It just came almost natural to it. He's if I want to make money, I need to sell something. It's just that simple.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I think there's a myth. I think there's a myth of there's security and stability and, just following the status quo, which, as you see nowadays where people, they might go to college, they'll end up with a degree, but then there's no job for them, right? Or,
right.
I mean, how often do you see it now where people are getting laid off? It's like that's always been a myth, but I think there's this perceived risk with going out on your own and doing your own thing too, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and so if you see that, like that's something that we need to cultivate and like really, recognize and like with my son, you know, I made him more passionate about, like he sold lemonade in the middle of winter and made money. And he knew the value of giving stuff away for free. So he sold lemonade and he gave some toys out for free. It was really interesting to watch that, you know, seeing it from the entrepreneurial perspective. And, you know, but going back, you know, going back to Amway, like I did that for like 10 years. Like I was in it for 10 years, but the thing was I didn't really apply myself to it because I wasn't really, this is a big thing for me is I wasn't really passionate about the products. I wasn't passionate about network marketing. That wasn't really a strength of mine. I'm not very, at the time I wasn't very social. I didn't know how to be a salesperson and present, like how to sell an idea to someone. That's very hard to do. You try, I mean, it's easy. Like you have, you know, shoes or something. You're like, okay, you like these shoes. It's all right. $30. They pay $30. You know, you get $30, but with an idea, you're trying to sell an idea and you're trying to put a price on an idea. People can't, it's hard to perceive that. So, I wasn't really passionate about it. I kind of lost my way, you know, through that whole experience and just never really did anything. I think through that whole experience, I made maybe $16. And the only reason why I made money is because I was the one spending money on, you know, on the products. So,
that's funny.
Yeah. So, and then, so that after that was pretty much it. Like I ended that in like 2011. And, you know, I for like years, like up until, so I met my wife around that time too. We had our first son, and I, like, all the way up until like 2016, I wasn't really, I was just working for someone else and just doing what I thought I was supposed to do. I was trying to make a career out of it. I was like, this is all I know. This is all I have. I can't do anything else, you know?
What was the career?
It was the being a distribution manager for this tea company.
Okay.
And I was working for this. It's a really cool concept. It's an Asian concept of the maybe some of the audience is familiar with this, but the tapioca pearls at the bottom of the drink, and you suck them through a larger straw.
Oh yeah.
It's really cool. The company I worked for, we were really innovative. We thought outside the box and stuff, but I did everything. You know, I wore many hats, and I did some branding, made the menus, made all the recipes, and I did all the ordering. And so it was very, like, it was kind of, you know, I created success, you know, in my position, but it wasn't my success. I felt like I was, you know, doing all this work for someone else. I was still getting paid to be just a distribution manager, but not, you know, getting paid to wear all these other hats. So yeah, I felt kind of cheated out of, you know, a little more than what I should have got, you know. And we always, you know, a lot of people always think that, you know, they deserve more than what they're doing, you know, because they put a little more effort into their job. And that's how I felt. And over time, you know, I experienced resentment, and, you know, I was just tired. I'd come home exhausted, and I you know, I just didn't want to be around my family. I mean, so around 2016, yeah, I was just like, it was all just going through the motions. You know, I would get up, take the kids to school, go to work, pick the kids up from school, come home. I didn't want to be around anyone. I just wanted to play video games or watch TV, which is the worst thing I could have done for myself. But that's, at that time, I didn't think there was anything else. This is just me. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. And then, you know, I think at one point, and so I I found, like, on Facebook, scrolling through my news feed, I found an advertisement for digital marketing, and it really spoke to me. Like, I was like, I can do this. Like, it wasn't network marketing, or an MLM. It was this thing where you can actually advertise other people's products and earn a commission for it. But you're not advertising, like, it's not direct marketing where you're like, going door to door, or, talking to someone in a coffee shop about, like, how great your opportunity is. You can actually, like, I love the fact that I can run paid ads to a cold audience, and at the same time, learn all these skills. So I'm learning and earning at the same time. Is really cool.
God, you're saying so much that's resonating with me. Like, when you talked about how, like, network marketing, how that was your start and you lacked a passion for the products. It's the same thing for me. It always got me frustrated that the products I was selling, a lot of times what had been presented to me was this awesome new opportunity. The comp plan's amazing. It's like, who's passionate about a comp plan? I mean, it might excite me that I have this opportunity, but if that's the driving energy around which you're, like, you're moving forward, it's like, that's going to fizzle out. And then the second thing you were just talking about, like, the same thing happened to me when that ad came through my newsfeed, and I saw that video. And what I loved about it is how the focus really is on developing a skill set, a mindset and a skill set that's accessible to anyone. But, once I discovered this whole new economy online and how I could learn these new age skills that could just liberate me, I was like, well, this is certainly something I'm in for. And it's also something I can get behind really promoting, right? And get passionate about promoting.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I'm all in, after that webinar, after I watched that webinar, and this is like in the fall of 2016, I was like, I'm doing this. I got to do this. And I looked at my wife. I was like, wife, I have to do this. All right. And she's like, okay, husband. All right. So that's how we do. We always call each other. I'm like, hey, wife. All right. So we don't even use names, but, so she was behind me. So I think that was an important piece too, like, having that support from my wife. And so I got the initial training, the Pro Academy, and I started learning a lot of information. I mean, that was a lot of information, a lot of valuable information, and so I was like, I got, soak all this in. At that time, here's a crazy thing. At that time, this product, AWOL, didn't have affiliate program. They didn't have that. It was all learning. It was all learning, and that was it. Like, you take that learning and then go apply it somewhere else. So for me, I'm a slow learner. A little, I like to look at, like, what I'm doing, study, but at the same time, I'm also, like, a kinesthetic learner. I have to take action. I have to, like, implement. So, I didn't really implement anything until they started their affiliate program in February. And that's when I just took off. I started writing ad copy and running ads, and, so, it's very important at first. I think success isn't immediate. There's no overnight success. And one of my favorite quotes is, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success, right? For some of us, it actually it can be a lot sooner, and that's definitely the fact with, the skills that we learn in AWOL, within AWOL, is that it doesn't have to take you 10 years to be successful. It can take a matter of months, and sometimes even weeks, like, if you're really, like, gung-ho about it. But for me, like I said, I was a slow learner. It took me 10 months to get my first sale. And when I got that first sale, I was like, oh my gosh, I just made money online. Like, I made,
without having to like, be in your
yeah,
face and doing the one-on-one stuff, you made a sale while you were doing whatever you were doing, right?
yeah. And so I was studying, I was still like studying, learning all this stuff, and then, but I was advertising at the same time, and I made a sale, and it was freaking awesome. Like, I couldn't believe, I was beside myself, and I showed my wife. I was like, yeah, look at that, $60. and that was huge. And so I kept going. I haven't, and that was in 2017, February 2017, towards the end, I, ever since then, I haven't looked back. Like, I haven't stopped. I don't think there hasn't been a day where I haven't stopped, advertising, for myself, running a product, talking to people, promoting. It's a lot of fun. And so now, we fast forward to, the high ticket. High ticket is, I think, if anyone gets into, especially affiliate marketing, is that high ticket is where you want to be at. You want to look for items that are high ticket, because when advertising and stuff, if you're trying to advertise an item that's only like $10, the return on that is not going to be, I mean, you're going to be constantly losing money, versus making money, just depending on how strong your skill set is. But with high ticket, I mean, you can spend so much money on advertising, and just one sale can pay all that back and then some. And that's what it's all about. Like, you always want to look for those high ticket items. And so yeah, that's
to add to that, because I'm with you, man. Like, and you can equate this to a business in the real world. Like, you go to get your oil changed, they're creating a customer by getting you in the door. And that's really important. That front end sales is important, but then there's all the other services they're upselling, and that's where most of the profits come from. So yeah, it's really hard to sustain a business without those bigger ticket sales.
It is.
Right?
You have to, if you do something small, I mean, you have to do a massive amount of volume. It's all about volume.
And minimize your cost to a point, which is like really challenging.
Yeah, it's very challenging. I mean, brick and mortar, I mean, this is the challenge they face like daily, even the company that I previously worked for, the ticket was like, you're selling a $6 drink. And I mean, you have to do massive amounts just to break even, like, just, and so it's really hard to sustain that kind of model unless you have some kind of backing, to help that like grow. It's not going to last very long. And so like with digital marketing, I mean, there's no cap. I mean, you can scale to whatever you want. You can scale whatever number you want. There's no, the expenses are almost non-existent. Minimal. I mean, very minimal. I mean, just very, I mean, all I pay for is just advertising,
Right. So we're in the digital information age, and we have the benefit of being able to sell what I feel like is almost the equivalent of like an internet marketing master's degree. Yeah. And because it's like a digital education, I mean, there's very low overhead. So they can, as affiliates, they can allow us to earn larger commission. So when we talk about high ticket, what we're really talking about is a much larger commission, right?
Right.
So what's happened, what I've been seeing and really enjoying seeing, and it's motivating me because I've been making a lot of front end sales, is to start driving the back end sales, those big commissions. Been cool to see those coming in for you, Jason. It's inspiring.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited. I love, one thing I like doing is taking that number and I keep showing it to my wife, and she, she's just like, what? So
do you remember where you were when you got your first big commission?
So I got my very first big commission last November, and Yeah, I got tears in my eyes when I got that. I was like, oh my gosh, this really does work.
This really works. Yeah.
This is this is it, you know. And it's been quite the experience. I swear, like, it's not just about making the sale too. You're also changing people's lives, because they're gonna get the information they need to develop a skill set that will set them free for the rest of their lives. And I think that's very important. You know, we're not in it just to make money, but to help other people solve their problems, you know, and get them to live the life they've always dreamed of. And so you always have to keep that in mind when you're doing this, when you're running a business, is you're trying to help people, you're trying to solve problems and help. You know, that's what matters. And also, the other thing, when you start making it, like making sales like high ticket, and or even just making, you know, the front ends like we talk about, and developing the skill set, other doors are going to open. Other doors, I mean, for me, like, have just, I mean, the floodgates have opened, and I'm taking, you know, full advantage of those. You know, I'm actually, you know, I'm working on projects with, you know, big time marketers now. Not That's just so because, cool. Yeah, not because of my skill set, not just because of my skill set, but because of my passions too. I think it's very important that when you become a digital marketer, and this is some valuable advice, is find something that you're passionate about and build a business around that. And that's one thing I started last year, around the spring, was like, you know, I've always loved photoshopping, doing videos. You can even see my video, like, lighting here and right behind me. I just did a video right before we got on. But you know, I was very passionate about doing Photoshop work and stuff like that. And people started noticing that more. And so now I've taken those skills as well, recognizing those skills thanks to AWOL. Thanks to AWOL, I have realized what my true passions are, and I have found my voice. And once I realized that, once I found my voice, like, I was able to monetize, you know, my passion, like turn my passions into profits. So not only can I affiliate market and like for anything, I've turned my passion into a business as well. So people are asking me for, you know, to do, you know, compositioning or videography and stuff like that. And, you know, so are
you doing like freelance work too?
Freelance. Yeah, I'm a freelancer. So it's all freelance. It's all freelance.
Yeah, because that's the other thing I appreciate about this. As soon as you learn this skill set, like you said, there's so many opportunities. And I've been freelancing since, you know, I really got started with digital marketing about 5 years ago. So for the last 4 years, as my skills have continued to, you know, as I've continued to gain more and more skills and more experience, I've been able to increase my rates, and I'm serving great clients all over the world. I've been able to travel. So that's another thing I appreciate about this, is that when you learn the skills, you can instantly, there's opportunity out there for you right away. You know, like you were saying, it can take maybe 10 years before, you know, you maybe have everything you're dreaming about or whatever, but there's an instantly opportunity as soon as you start learning this skill set and these tools, you know?
Oh yeah.
You're willing to hustle.
It's amazing. The sky, there is no limit. It's just, you can take these skills and create something out of nothing. I mean, so cool. Yeah, I mean, and so, like, you know, growing my business, you know, like, I'm growing another part of my business with my wife. Like, we're testing out, you know, Instagram algorithm stuff, you know, and we're going to build a business around what she knows, because she's an expert on Instagram
marketing. Oh,
and awesome. So now I'm going to take my skills I learned from AWOL and help her build that business, advertise, you know, the right way with, you know, through Facebook and so all other social media platforms. But so yeah, we're gonna create a course on that, you know, help people grow their Instagram accounts. And, you know, and I'm still doing some, like I said, some composition work for other marketers, even AWOL itself. You know, I'm helping them
Are you writing the blogs?
No, that's Jason Lagarde.
Okay, because I've seen a couple of the blogs I noticed to Jason. Now I'm trying to remember if I'm thinking of him as, is that you? But no.
No, I think he does all of them. And,
okay.
And then I'm also, with it's funny how my skills as a Photoshopper got me recognized as, like doing facilitation for some of the AWOL intensives. So I've been asked to go to these AWOL intensives that people go to. They pay to be at the AWOL headquarters and get hands-on, instruction on how to, specifically build their businesses. And so I'm one of the facilitators. I get to go. So like I said, all these opportunities have opened up for me, and I'm like, yes, I'm going to take advantage of these, and the more the merrier. It's been quite the ride so far in the last 3 months.
Man, that's so awesome. This has been so valuable. And so, just to respect your time, because we both got to get back to hustling and keeping things going. I just wanted to ask you one more question. Like, for someone who's, maybe they're aware of AWOL now, maybe they're on the fence and they're thinking about it. Like, what would you tell them?
I would say it's normal to be on the fence about AWOL or any other opportunity, because there might be a little bit of a mystery. You might not see what we see right now. Like it's different eyes. And the best thing is, look, that you have to take risks. I mean, I've taken so many risks. I mean, I put when I first started, I put myself in debt, but I knew that it's all an investment. Like with AWOL, it's an investment. It's not an expense. It's not like you're going to Dunkin' Donuts and buying a donut, eating it, and it's gone. That's an expense. AWOL is an investment. It's an investment for your future. It's an investment for this valuable skill set that even if AWOL wasn't here tomorrow, you would still have, and you can advertise anything. You can advertise, you don't have to advertise for AWOL. You can advertise, you get your own product, other affiliate products. It's
endless opportunity.
Endless. It's endless. So if you're on the fence, like, just please understand, you can always do it. And if it doesn't work out, like, there's very minimal risk involved up front.
Getting started.
Yeah. Getting started, there's very minimal risk. I mean, even with the PDF that you get, and the 2-hour masterclass, you will get a lot of information out of that, but and that's definitely a place to start, to make sure this is right for you. Download that PDF. Watch that webinar, take notes, and see if this is something that you want to get into. But I think this is for anyone. This is for anyone that wants to change their life. This is for if you're stuck in something, you're stuck in a job that doesn't recognize your value, and you've always wanted to do something more, be something more, and live that life that you've always dreamed of. This is a great place to start, because I guarantee you, once you get into this, there's no looking back.
And you lock arms with the community, which is amazing.
The community. I mean, that's another thing with AWOL is the community. I mean, we're part of the community. We're in there answering questions, talking to people, engaging. That's probably the most valuable community I've ever experienced. I've been a part of a lot of different masterminds, groups, Facebook groups, and there's none of them compare to the amount of value that you get in the groups for AWOL. So
I'm with you, bud. I can't say it any better. And like Jason's saying, like, if you're ready to get started, the best thing I can tell you is, if you haven't gone through that workshop, do that. first, because it's a 2-hour masterclass. He pulls the curtain back and really shows you what this is all about. And then getting started is $97. I mean, you know, if you think about, you compare this to other business models, that is as small of an investment you're going to find to get you inside and actually in the game and starting to make something happen, you know?
Yeah. If you wanted to start a brick and mortar, I mean, it could be like, even just for a small, like, you know, business, like within in a mall, like some of those, it's at least $200,000 to put into that. So would you rather pay $200,000 to start a brick and mortar, or $97 to start your own business online
that you can be, you know, operating from your desk?
Yeah,
you know?
and
that or wherever you are in the world.
I'm working from home right now. You know, that's
Me too.
This is my life now. I don't go to a office anymore. I don't work in a cubicle anymore. I don't answer to anyone. I don't take vacations when, you know, I don't have to ask permission for any of that stuff. So that's, you know, this is where it's at. I think this is the future of business, and you definitely want to jump on board with it.
Absolutely. So like you said, jump on board. You'll be part of this amazing community, and we'd be excited to have you. Jason, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I was really excited to get you on. And for those of you watching, I'll have more of these amazing interviews coming. So we'll be seeing you in the next one.
Yeah.